3 reasons why we should kneel down when praying. He who kneels before God can stand before anyone. When you kneel before God, He stands up for you. And when God stands up for you, no one can stand against you. The greatest battles are won on the knees. When life gives you more than you can stand, kneel. The most powerful position on earth is kneeling before the Lord of the universe. Before I give you the 3 reasons why you should kneel down while praying, let me give you examples of people who knelt down in prayers. Jesus prayed on his knees. Even though the Son of God and God in flesh, Jesus prayed on his knees. Luke 22:41, Jesus withdrew about a stone's throw beyond them, knelt down and prayed. The first bishop of the church, Peter, prayed on his knees. When Tabitha died, one of the followers of Jesus, Peter sent them all out of the room. Then he got down on his knees and prayed. Turning toward the dead woman, he said, "Tabitha, get up." She opened her eyes, and seeing Peter, she sat up. Acts 9:14. The greatest apostle of all times, the Apostle Paul, he prayed on his knees. Acts 20:36. When Paul had finished speaking, he knelt down with all of them and prayed. Stephen prayed on his knees, his very last breath, when they were stoning him to death, because that was his custom. Acts 7:60. Then he fell on his knees and cried out, "Lord, do not hold this sin against them." When he had said this, he fell asleep. He was able to forgive his killers because he could connect with God even at the point of death. Number 5, the early Christians prayed on their knees. Acts 21:5. When it was time to leave, we left and continued on our way. All of them, including wives and children, accompanied us out of the city, and there on the beach, we knelt down. The early church prayed on their knees. 6, people came to Jesus kneeling. I have so many examples, I'll give you one. In Matthew 17:14 and 15, when they came to the crowd, a man approached Jesus and knelt before him. "Lord, have mercy on my son," he said. "He has seizures and is suffering greatly. He often falls into the fire or into the water." You can read another example in Matthew 20:20, another example in Mark 1:40. People came to Jesus kneeling. Even in the Old Covenant, we read many stories of people in the Old Testament who knelt down before God and prayed. Just 3 examples. Solomon prayed on his knees. 1 Kings 8:54. When Solomon had finished all these prayers and supplications to the Lord, he rose before the altar of the Lord, where he had been kneeling. He had been kneeling with his hands spread out toward heaven. So he was praying on his knees with his hands lifted, spread out toward heaven. Ezra prayed on his knees. Ezra 9:5. This is one of the greatest priests of all times. "Then at the evening sacrifice, I rose from my self-abasement with my tunic and cloak torn, and fell on my knees with my hands spread out to the Lord my God." The psalmist asks us to kneel. Psalms 95:6. "Come, let us bow down in worship. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker." And the last example, number 10, Daniel prayed on his knees. Daniel 6:10. "Now when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room, where the windows opened toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God, just as he had done before." He prayed on his knees 3 times a day, 3 times a day, in his bedroom, his upstairs room. He was living in a mansionette, clearly. Now, why should we kneel down before God? 3 reasons. By the way, there is nothing wrong praying standing. It's okay to pray while driving to work, while cooking, while walking, while hiking, while swimming, while dressing, while showering. We should pray all the time, but not at the expense of creating some special moment to connect with God. And I want to give you 3 reasons. Number 1, why should we kneel? To avoid multitasking. The truth is, as you cook and pray, sometimes you're not concentrating on either. As you drive and pray, you are distracted by other motorists. Even when you're walking in the city streets and you're praying, sometimes you're distracted by other guys walking. So the one place, one posture, one position you focus the most, you concentrate the most, is when you're kneeling down. So when you kneel down, you avoid multitasking and your focus is 100% on God. Number 2, why kneel? To demonstrate our reverence to God. Kneeling down is the highest level of reverence, the highest level of submission and respect and honor. You're coming to the King of Kings, the God of the universe, the one who existed before time was. You are his breath. You are living because the life of God, the breath of God flows in your veins. When you are kneeling down, you are demonstrating, illustrating, expressing total reverence and submission to God. It is the highest form of reverence, worship, submission. Number 3, why kneel? To copy the example of Jesus. Jesus came here for many reasons, one of which was to be our role model, to give us an example, an illustration, to model how we should live. And one of the things he modeled prayers. He demonstrated to us how we should pray. And if Jesus, God in flesh, the Son of the living God, could get on his knees to talk to his Father, why not you? If this video blessed you, please give me a comment and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. And please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get notified when I upload new videos. I upload new videos every week. You don't want to miss out on my latest videos. Thank you so much, and the Lord bless you.